Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Today we are going to discuss about the various causes and control of coal mine bombs. So whenever you are going to mine the coal by board and pillar method of mining, you will come across with coal mine bombs. So what is a bomb? In this class, we are going to discuss about the coal mine bombs, its introduction, definition of coal mine bombs, causes of coal mine bombs, classification of coal mine bombs. There are two types of bombs. One is pressure bomb and shock bomb. What is the mechanism of coal bombs and what are the contributing factors responsible for coal mine bombs, like your strain energy, geological characteristics, mine design, physical properties. Besides that, we are going to discuss about the bombs, how to prevent the bombs, what are the methods available for prevention of the coal mine bombs, and what is the de-stressing method. De-stressing methods are of volley firing, hydraulic fracturing methods, augering, auger drilling methods. So these things we are going to discuss in this class. So what is a coal mine bomb? A coal mine bomb or rock burst is a seismic jolt occurring within an underground coal mine due to the exposure due to the explosive collapse of one or more support pillars. Okay, because of the so here I have to go for let us see. Okay, anyway, so this coal mine bomb usually occurs in room and pillar mining method. Tunnels are advanced in a rectangular pattern resembling city streets or tunnels, leaving behind blocks, pillars of coal. So you must have read in coal mining, underground coal mining methods, board and pillar mining method, where you form some boards and pillars. To a miner, a partially completed tunnel resembles a room dug into the coal seam. The weight of rock overburden previously supported by coal mined from rooms is redistributed to pillars. If that weight exceeds the strength of a pillar, the pillar can fail by crossing or exploding. An explosive failure is called a bomb. So in the coal fields, bombs are more likely to occur when the overburden is at least 500 feet or 150 meters, where a strong overlying stratum such as sandstone occurs near the coal bed and with a strong inflexible flow. The number of deaths from coal mine bombs have dropped off dramatically since the early 90s, but fatalities are more common where mines often go deeper. So the coal mine bombs are 3 times more likely in room and pillar method of mining and are even more common in mines that do retreat mining. In longwall mining method, there are 2 methods of mining. One is longwall advancing and the other one is longwall retreating. So if you are going for longwall retreat mining, then there is more chances of coal mine bombs, in which the pillars are removed as the miners retreat towards the mine entrance with the intent of allowing an orderly collapse of the mine. So let us introduce the subject of coal mine bombs. So the coal mine bombs involve the violent, rapid failure of the coal and rock around a mine excavation. Deep coal mines with strong roof and floor rocks and high stress conditions frequently experience face and rib bumps. The bump problem is becoming more severe as mining depth increases, prompting efforts to control high stress in advance of mining. Geotechnical instrumentation and microseismic methods were used to better understand bump occurrences in underground coal mines. So the coal bomb bounces or coal bumps and outbursts are major hazards to underground coal mining in many parts of the world. These events have the potential to inflict severe injury to mining personnel who are working inside the mine. Invariably, production is disrupted and mine closure may be required if there is coal mine bombs are present. So the definition of coal mine bomb is bounce. A bounce is a sudden forceful impact or vibration felt in the mine, which may be accompanied by face or rib sloughage and or pillar and roof separation. So the coal mine bomb is an instantaneous release of roof, rib or floor material propelled into a mine opening. Similarly, the outburst is a bump that is accompanied by a rapid release of a large volume of gases. So there are 3 definitions are there: bounce, bump and outburst. See, the number of actual bump accidents is probably much higher. A bump or an outburst may trigger explosions and contribute to other ground control problems. These events are not reported as bombs, but rather as an explosion, floor heap, or roof fall. It is a well-known fact that the severity and frequency of bombs increase with depth. The cause of this increase is usually attributed to the increasing weight of the overlying strata and the increasing stress in the rock strata with mining depth. However, depth is not the only factor that can cause coal mine bumps. There are many other factors are also responsible which contribute to coal mine bombs. So the bombs, coal mine bombs, have been reported in the mines under only 1,000 feet of cover. In general, coal mine bombs in shallow mines occur infrequently and are not as severe as deep-seated coal mine bombs. In most deep mines that are bomb-prone, the depth at which bombs are first experienced is usually below 2,000 feet. In most instances, they become a serious problem after the mine depth increases to 3,000 feet. However, some mines have operated at a depth of greater than 5,000 feet without any bombs. This indicates that site-specific conditions other than the depth are also the important factors for the coal mine bombs. In United States of America, most of the coal seams are deep and also they are steeply dipping, often having thick, massive sandstone layers in close proximity to the coal seams, and therefore they may be more prone to coal mine bombs. So this is the mechanism of coal mine bombs, why the bombs occur. So this is the coal mining cavity, the roadway or the board in which you are traveling. This is the roof of the gallery. This is the one rib, right side rib. This is the left side rib. This is the floor of the gallery, and this is the bump pressure causes sides to burst. Bump pressure causes sides to burst. So this is the coal mining scenario in underground coal mines. Because of these ribs and the roof pressure and floor pressure, the bombs occur. So instability caused by tremendous pressures from the miners shifting overburden produce bombs or bounces, a sudden bursting of rock and coal through the sides of the mine tunnel, through the rib of the mine tunnel. So the coal mine bombs occur because of the sudden pressure. Here, the coal mine bomb is presented in a graphical manner. This is the microseismic activity which has taken place on the roof level, and this is the integral pressure, integral pressure, and this is the pressure stress of coal bomb, for which reason the coal mine bombs they occur. So this is the coal seam. This is the coal seam. Advancement of mining is going on this direction, and this red variable is the fault induced stress. This is the fault, geological fault. This is the fracture point. This orange color is the fracture point. This is the fault, geological fault, and this is the combined pressure, and this is the mining induced pressure. So mining induced pressure, combined pressure, and fault induced stress, they contribute for the coal mine bombs to occur. And if there is a fault plane is there, so there is more chance of coal mine bombs compared to without any faults. So these coal bombs, rock bursts, or gas outbursts are three important uh, uh, hazards associated with mining: coal mine bombs, rock bursts, gas outburst. These are three important hazards which may occur in your mining area. So what is a burst? Bursts take place because of the stored strain energy within the coal seam. Bursts takes place because of the stored strain energy within the coal seam. And outbursts take place because of the gas pressures, free gas and adsorbed gas. So outbursts are connected with gas pressure, free gas versus adsorbed gas. And coal mine bombs occur because of the stored energy within the overburden or floor of the coal seam. Okay. So these are the cavity collapse. This is cavity collapse. A is your cavity collapse. B is your pillar burst. C is your tensional fault. And D normal fault. E thrust fault. F thrust faulting, shallow near horizontal. Different type of coal mine bombs occur. And this is the pressure built up around the gallery, for which reason the bombs do occur. So bombs can be classified into two types. Bombs have been classified in a variety of ways depending on the country, the mine, and the nature of occurrence. Coal mine bombs were categorized as pressure bombs and shock bombs. So what is a pressure bomb? A pressure bomb occurs when a strong or buried pillar in a developed area is statically stressed past the failure strength of the coal. And shock bombs are caused by dynamic loading of the coal through either dramatic changes in the stress distribution within the overlying strata or by an abrupt loading of the coal seam ahead of the face, resulting from dynamic roof rock failure. So there are two types of bombs are there, pressure bomb and shock bomb. So it is noted that the majority of the bombs classified as shock bombs actually occur in areas within the mine where the coal was already subjected to high levels of static loads. Bombs previously thought to be caused by dynamic loading were actually the result of either local variation in mine geology and coal properties or improper mine design and sequencing, which created zones of high stress. In Poland, coal mine bombs are classified as either seam bombs, roof bombs, floor bombs, depending on the area of the failure. In the Republic of South Africa, rock bombs are classified as ring bombs, shear bombs, pillar bombs, depending on the stress and failure mechanism. Bomb mechanisms contributing factors are like your strain energy, design of the mining activities, physical properties of the rock and coal, geological characteristics of the strata. The coal mine bombs are affected by strain energy, mine design, physical properties of the rock, and geological characteristics of the rock. The contributing factors shown in the figure are combined under four major categories. They are the strain energy, geological characteristics, mine design, and physical properties. So this bomb, strain energy, mine design, physical properties, geological characteristics. So what is a strain energy? The coal has the capacity to store large amounts of strain energy before it fails. The total energy stored depends on the coal property, the roof condition, the floor material properties, and entry development. Lateral confinement, the magnitude of the applied stress. Before mining, the roof, the coal seam, and the floor are in equilibrium. Entry development redistributes stresses in the rock mass and results in permanent deformation around the opening. Stress increases around the opening until a critical level is reached. The capacity of the coal to store strain energy is reached, and any additional stress will cause the coal to bump. Roof and floor rocks accumulate strain energy when stressed as plates or beams. Beams release tremendous amounts of energy when failure occurs. So, impact failures under lesser loads may occur because failure of strong roof can transmit an induced stress wave over a great distance, resulting in simultaneous bumps over a large area. This domino effect occurs when sudden loading causes high stresses to develop in a progressive manner. The second factor is the characteristics of the rock. The association between bumps and geologic conditions like your fractures, joint planes, fault planes, faults has not been fully investigated. Past research indicates that rock burst frequency depends on mine location and the interaction between specific geological features. Generally, thick overburden and steeply dipping coal seams are coincidental with bump conditions. Steep terrain, which causes rapid fluctuations in overburden pressure, and strong overlying strata, which may be resistant to rapid caving, are contributing factors to a bump. Although thick coal seams are more prone to bumping, the thickness of the coal seam alone is not a principal factor. Thin coal seams have also experienced coal mine bumping depending on other contributing factors. Similarly, the location and the orientation of the geological anomalies, geological disturbances such as the fault planes, faults, dikes, and joints often contribute to bump conditions. Then the third factor is your mine design factor, mining factor. Inadequate mine planning and incorrect mine design can increase the occurrence of coal mine bombs in underground coal mines. While many factors exist in the bomb problem that cannot be controlled, mine design is one variable over which the mine operator has some control. 80% of the coal bombs occur near pillar lines during retreat mining. A pillar line point is a highly stressed area of a pillar that projects into the curb. Frequency of bombs in coal mines was categorized based on mining method and place of occurrence. Bombs occur 3 times more frequently in roam and pillar method of mining compared to longwall mining method. If a mine uses the room and pillar method of mining and experiences coal mine bombs, then one possible solution would be for the mining operators to try longwall method of mining. This is, however, highly dependent on the mining cost, geological disturbances, and the coal reserve. Multiple coal seam mining can also contribute to coal mine bombs. Mining above or below other mine workings may cause an increase in the abutment pressures due to interaction between abutment zones. Multiple seam mine planning should be scheduled so that abutment loading is not superimposed on active workings in adjacent seams. Remnant pillars left on mines in the coal seam being extracted or in coal seams previously mined out above or below the present operation may also contribute to coal mine bombs. During retreat method of mining, longwall retreat mining, pillar recovery should be practiced in the distressed zone between the gobline and the abutment to reduce the potential for a coal mine bomb. Since the abutment stress is typically on the first line of pillars, these pillars should be split prior to recovery. Pillar splitting causes yielding and load transfer onto the next line of pillars, creating a new abutment zone. This method of pillar recovery may be practiced in most bomb-prone mines since strong roof strata normally exist. However, if the roof is weak, this method of mining may cause roof control problems. Strong and competent roof strata are a contributing factor to the bomb problem. If the roof strata is very strong and very competent, then there is more chance of coal mine bombs. These strong strata often overhang behind the longwall face supports and in retreat room and pillar mining method, creating excessive stress on the face due to a cantilever effect. If caving is inadequate, the abutment zone does not advance with mining. Stress on the face may increase to a critical point and result in a bump. The critical point is reached when the stress in the abutment zone exceeds the ability of coal to store strain energy. There are some physical properties like brittle coal with a high compressive strength was a necessary element for coal mine bombing. However, research carried out by various researchers showed that coal composition was not the controlling factor, but rather the strength of the roof and floor is the main factor for the coal mine bombs. Strong roof and the floor provide constraint to the pillar and allow the pillar to build up large amounts of strain energy before failure. A weak roof or floor will allow the pillar to expand, deteriorate, and cross without a violent bump. Bump prevention methods are there. How to prevent the coal mine bumps? High stress is the common denominator in the bump problem. Various causes of high stress can be traced to a number of factors such as size of the pillar and shape of the pillar, roof and floor confinement, coal material properties, mining method, rate of advance, cutting depth, and orientation of the panel with respect to in situ stress fields. The contributing factors are numerous and uh, present very complicated problems in predicting potential bomb locations. Prevention of bomb occurrence may be achieved by proper planning and mine design, sometimes including an active stress relief program incorporated into the mining cycle. How the distressing method is used to distress the strain. The basic concept of distressing or transferring high stress concentrations from one portion of a mine structure to another is not new. Fracturing or softening rock or coal to control the stress buildup has been practiced in various mines. In coal mines, distressing the active working phase is the most logical method to prevent the coal mine bombs. Three major distressing methods used in coal mines are discussed in the following sections. The effectiveness of these methods is largely dependent on coal mine conditions. One is volley firing. In the volley firing method, explosives are used to fracture the coal face to a certain depth before mining commences. Hydraulic fracturing is also carried out. This method involves the injection of fluid under pressure to overcome compressive stresses and to cause material failure by creating fractures or fracture systems in a porous medium. Then auger drilling also can be used for controlling the coal mine bombs. In this method, stress relief is induced by drilling holes into a highly stressed area. Depending on the magnitude of the stress, a hole or series of holes in a coal seam will structurally weaken the seam and cause failure of the coal. Violent bombs were triggered during drilling. However, mine personnel were protected by the barricades. In addition, the auger drilling operation was performed on non-production shifts to minimize the number of workers present in the mine. Okay, so today we have discussed about the coal mine bombs. Coal mine bombs. So the overview of coal mine bombs can be seen. Just coal mine so what we have discussed today is just summarized. So uh, so these bombs have been reported in mines, and we have discussed some of them. Coal mine bombs, they are very dangerous phenomena in the coal mines. So these bombs, okay, let us dismiss this one. We'll go to the so today we have discussed these coal mine bombs, rock bursts, coal outbursts. There are 3 chapters are there. Today we have discussed coal mine bombs. We'll also discuss about the rock bursts. Then we'll also discuss about the gas outbursts. And these are some of the diagrams given on coal mine bombs. We have also classified the coal mine bombs into pressure bombs and shock bombs. And the contributing factors we have discussed, like strain energy, geological disturbances, mine design, and physical properties. And we have also discussed what is a strain energy, coal property, lateral confinement, magnitude of the applied stress, and we have discussed about geological features like fractures, joints, faults, folds has not been fully investigated, uh, which are also responsible for the coal mine bombs. Mine design, uh, frequency of bombs in coal mines, how frequently the coal mine bombs occur, and the different factors, physical properties of the coal, bomb prevention, how to prevent the bombs, pillars by high stress is the common denominator in the coal mine bomb problem. Causes of high stress can be traced to a number of factors like pillar size and shape, roof and floor confinement, coal material properties, mining method, rate of advance, cutting depth, and orientation of panel with respect to in situ stress field. So these things, distressing methods, volley firing and hydraulic firing, and auger drilling. So these are the various methods available for controlling the coal mine bombs. So in summary, I can tell you that these coal mine bombs occur in coal mines and sometimes it may be a very great danger to the people who are working inside the mine. So that's why certain corrective measures should be taken, proper mine design should be followed so that the coal mine bombs do not occur in your mines. So this is all about today's discussion on coal mine bombs. So in the next class, that is on Tuesday, we'll discuss more about it. Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day.